Hey there, Mr. Bill here, and today I'm going to show you how to optimize the use of this browser in Live 10. But you can do this in Live 9 or 8, or actually I don't think you can do it in 8. You can definitely do it in 9. And these are just a couple of workflow tips. It's none of that like basic browser knowledge that I feel like you probably already have, but rather it's just I want to show some tricks in the browser that aren't necessarily advertised in the manual or anything like that. Actually, I will talk about the favorites a little bit. The main thing I've been using the favorites for here is plugins that I'm demoing. So if there's a plugin that I'm demoing, like and it's like a 20-day free trial, and then after that 20-day free trial, if you don't like it, you have to uninstall it or whatever. So I keep all those here, and then after I'm done trialing these things, I either uninstall them or I buy them, and that's the main thing the main use I've found for these collections. And then sometimes I just like to, organize some of the companies together. I haven't actually done that in the plugins folder itself, so I've just been doing it with the favorites folder, but you could just do it in the plugins folder itself by just going into your VST folder. But the first thing that I want to show you with searching with the browser is this search function. You just press Control F, or on Mac it's Command F, and then just start typing anything you want. So like here's a track I'm working on right now with Sticky Buds. It sounds like this. Like let's say I wanted to try a new kick, then I could really easily just type in Control F kick, and then you can see it just shows me all of my kicks here. So this is probably like a basic thing that a lot of people already know. One thing that I like to do is when I search for something, like let's say I search kick, is I like to hit the name, and then that flips everything upside down. And if you always have it named from A to Z, or starts with the numbers first and then goes down to the letters, then you're usually going to be using the same samples from probably the top half of this list. But if you flip this upside down, then you're going to start using stuff from the bottom of the list, and I find that can sometimes be nice if you want to use some samples that you haven't necessarily been using much of lately. The second thing I want to talk about is telling the difference between file types in the browser. So if you type in kick here, you can see anything with this little audio file looking thing is an audio file. If we type in MIDI here, you can see these little note icons here. They're MIDI icons. If we go to audio effects, you can see that these have a different type of icon, the Ableton rack icon. Plugins, you can see these have this little VST symbol. Max devices have this little Max looking symbol. It's like a plugin with two little dots on either end, which I guess denote patch cables. All the Ableton devices look the same, and yeah, pretty much that's kind of an interesting thing I think to know, is that when you're looking at files, it's just kind of nice to be able to easily tell what they are, whether they're audio. That's usually the first thing I look at when I'm looking through files, is I'll just be like, oh, that's audio. Or you can even tell by looking at the end and seeing that it says WAV, obviously, or MP3 or whatever it is. And then these little file things are obviously ALSs, which you can load up. You can drag. These are channels. If you're looking through an Ableton file like this, these are audio channels, and then there's another one that looks like MIDI channels. Also, grooves look like this little squiggly line. Okay, so you can see this one, main bass high. It's like a little icon with notes. That's a MIDI track, and this is an audio track. So these three are audio tracks. This one is MIDI. So that's kind of interesting to know. It's just like a small detail that I noticed maybe, a couple of months ago, and I thought it was interesting. The next thing that I want to show you is this ranking system that the browser uses. If you right click here where it says type and you hit rank, you can actually organize your devices by the rank in which you've used them. So I apparently use utility the most, and then auto filter, then EQ8, saturator, etc. Maybe put in the comments what your most used device is, and we can all compare device usage. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about with the browser is certain terms that you can search to get to interesting stuff quickly. So for instance, let's say I was working on this tune, and at the end I wanted to have like some interesting sound design. So let's say here I wanted to cut everything and then put a new sound in there. and I didn't feel like doing sound design. Well, it actually turns out that I've done a shit ton of sound design over the years, and so have you probably. All you need to do is you just type in Control F and then you search freeze in this in your results, and pretty much it will just like come up with all of your freeze files. And you can see how small this browser bar is. This little scroll bar is just full of freeze files, and technically these are all channels that I've frozen. So this is all sound design, and probably at like 50% at least or more is like unused. And I believe maybe we could even go rank. Yeah, you could even rank it. So like with the ranking system, you can just see what you haven't used. So apparently I've never used this sound before, even though I made it. So I might as well see if it works in this song, you know? No, I don't like it, so I can just delete it, and I have no like qualms with deleting it and being like, screw it, because I didn't spend any time making it right now, and therefore I don't have any emotional responsibility, or rather like I don't have any what would the word be? I don't feel sorry for the bill that made it 6 months ago, because that bill has I don't have any empathy for that bill. So I'm not it's a good way to just try a bunch of sounds and not be attached to any of them. Oh, I actually have used that one before. So yeah, it's quite an easy way to just go through and find cool sounds. That's kind of cool. So yeah, that's a nice way to do it. Another thing that you can search in here, and this is the last tip that I'll give you, is you hit Control F and just start typing in numbers like 1 audio or 2 audio, or just like, you can even just type in audio if you like. And this will have like 113 audio, 114 audio, etc., etc. And all of these are actually recordings that you've made. So if you ever open up a channel like this and then you hit like resampling, and then you record, say, I don't know, these 2 channels or whatever. Okay, so we recorded that, and then if we show this in the Explorer, you can see it's recorded as 73 audio 001 2018 March 25th 17. It gives it like some crazy big like number at the end of it. So, and a lot of those recorded sounds you probably don't end up using. So you can just go through your folder and it's like free sound design. It's insane. Like you could probably go through all these and just like spend a day or 2 making sample packs, and then give them to Splice and make a bunch of money. So yeah, some of these have probably already been used, but lots of them probably haven't as well. I don't know if I've used this. Actually, yeah, I have used that before. It's a nice little donk. Cool. So anyway, yeah, that's basically all I wanted to tell you about, is just some little tricks that I use with the browser, or I've been using for a while, to just kind of, I don't know, just get the most out of the sound design, and get the most out of the effort that you've put in the past, really, because quite often I'll spend a long time on a sound and then I'll just be like, it's not working, and I'll scrap it, and that's fine. If that's what works for the tune, that's great, but you shouldn't like let that sound design and that effort go to waste. You should just make use of it again, I feel like, by reopening your freeze files and your audio files and whatnot. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that tutorial, and if you did, cool. Have a good day.